Hi, all. Welcome to the Mediumship Matters podcast with me, Hannah McIntyre. Now, what follows is a live demonstration that I did for some of my students and the supporters of the podcast, those of you lovely folks who pay a monthly subscription to support it. I am so grateful. And I asked Spirit for a true representation of mediumship and the ins and outs of a dem, and that is certainly what we've got here. So it's really, really interesting. It's completely unedited. The gaps, the errors, the no's, everything is exactly as it happened on the dem. There is no change, has been no changes made. You have it in its entirety because you know that I'm passionate about that. That's really, really important to me. There's some fascinating bits in here. So what I want you to look out for are, for example, when I am working with Cindy, I'm talking about her husband's passing, and I keep referring to something going on in the head, and it turns out that he is acknowledging a head injury that Cindy herself has received. That is also an experience that I have for the first time, where I could see him. He was showing me that he was stood beside his body and he was already fully in his spirit body when people were working on him. And that information has ended up being quite important for Cindy. And that's absolutely fascinating to me as well, because in the moment when I'm giving that information, I'd love to tell you that it came in with an ah from the spirit world, and I knew the value of what I was saying, but I didn't. And that's what's so amazing and magical and wondrous about spirit, is the way that they can get the message that is needed through. Another great example in this demonstration is Eleanor's loved one that she had never met and only knows of coming in. So that just shows how open in a demonstration you need to be to the spirit that is communicating. We've got Lynn's mum coming in first, and then me thinking I'm working with a new spirit, but I actually end up working with her dad. We have got Kat's friend coming in, and I could feel them tying a friendship bracelet around my wrist. And that it's just such an amazing reading. And then I go to the gentleman that I can see her holding his wrist and trying to bring in, who Kat can't even recognise. So you go through this process of being absolutely amazing and blowing someone's mind, and then right off the cliff to no idea who that is. Interesting, fascinating. And the final link where nobody is taking it, but it actually turns out to be for somebody that is in the room and listening in and isn't part of the dem. And I will be forever grateful that they were brave enough to let me know that they were there so that they could take the link, because it's just amazing to me that spirit can come in and they know who's listening, they know who's watching, even if I don't. So enjoy. I hope you like it, and I hope it inspires you on your journey. It's not about being perfect and getting no-nos and getting everything right. It's about doing your best. It's valuable, valuable work. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me this evening, this afternoon, whatever your time zone is. Now, having a quick look around, I think most of you are my students, but just in case, to be completely clear with how it all works, I'll be connecting to some loved ones in the spirit world this evening. Now, as we all know, that is always an experiment. We never know how it's going to go or how it's going to work. What I will do is I will bring forward some evidence of those people that I'm working with. And if you recognize who I'm talking to, if you can give me a wave or use the raise hand icon on your Zoom, then I will see if I've got enough in just with one of you, or decide how to work that spirit and that connection best for me. I ask you please to use yes, no, maybe, don't know, Can you get a bit more for me? Can you clarify? But don't feed the medium. Don't keep telling me stuff about them before I've got it myself, because sometimes in the unfoldment of mediumship, I am opening up to that spirit and that information, and you can say it just before I'm about to, and that takes away your wow moment and my satisfaction. So let me just move my mind to spirit, and we will see who's going to come in and work with us. Okay, straight away, I am aware of Dad stepping forward, and Dad to me feels like quite a traditional man. So I know that Dad is very, let me just get a feel of him fully here. He's conservative is the expression I want to use, but I mean by that not politically conservative, but he is a straight-laced kind of guy. He's not emotional. He very gender stereotypical, so he likes to do his man kind of things. You wouldn't have caught Dad in the kitchen, baking, cleaning, doing any of those kind of roles. He's definitely the sort of person that stays very much in his lane. Now, I do feel like I'm going back in time with Dad here. So it could be Granddad just because of the timings, but we'll work through it. It feels like a dad-like energy to me. So we're going back in time. So this would be somebody who I believe served in the forces in some way in his younger days, and then he's got that kind of formality about him, like he doesn't relax. He's got he likes to do things properly, by the book. I know that he likes to eat his dinner at a set time. He's sat at a table, he's shown me his knife and fork in his hand. So there's a formal nature to him in the way that he likes to behave, in sort of regimented, if that makes sense. Now, I do feel that he passes in his 60s. I could have got that slightly wrong, but he doesn't feel like he's elderly to me when he moves into the spirit world. I do feel like he's in retirement, but he's not very, very old. And I do feel that he could have had more time here. And I am being made aware of some sort of chest complaint or chest condition with him. So who am I with, please? Who recognizes? Okay, Susan, possibly Eleanor, and possibly Kat. Okay, I haven't got enough information for you then, have I? Let me just work with him a little bit more. Okay, he's straight away, the spirit takes me back to his straight-laced nature. So he's not an emotional man. He's an interesting first link for me, because normally they bring the big emotions and the big feelings. Now, this doesn't mean that he didn't feel them. It just means that he doesn't like to express them. And that feels very strongly with me. There's a lot of love coming in here from him, but he doesn't talk about feelings. He wouldn't have admitted feelings. And I need to be talk here about his passing being quite sudden or unexpected, because although I know that he's unwell for some time, it still feels to me like he's got more time and people are expecting him to keep going. So there's a long-term illness, but he passes unexpectedly, I would say, with that. Are you all still with me? Have I lost any of you? Kat's still there. Susan's doing this. Do you know what I'm going to do? Because I can see you all and I'm getting energy. Susan, can I work with you for a minute? Because I just keep seeing you lit up like a little Christmas tree to me there energetically. Hi, Susan. I know you're doing the, I'm not sure, it could be me, it could not be me thing. So let me just check with you. Would you understand this to be Dad? No, Granddad.
Yes.
Okay. Would you understand him to be a very formal man, very sort of, I want to sit up straight, I want to stand tall?
Yes.
Yes. And very particular about liking things. I feel like his time is quite important to him. He likes things at a set time. He's quite regimented with his approach to the day.
I couldn't really answer that definitively.
Okay. Always eat dinner at the table. Wouldn't slub around on a lap dinner. That feels important to me because I know I'm sat at the table doing things properly.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Served? In the forces?
Yes.
Yes, because that feels like a really important part of who he is. So this is something that he would have talked about, that he would be proud of. And as I see that there, Susan, I'm aware that he got medals. Would you understand this?
Unsure.
Unsure. Okay.
I'm unsure.
Okay. Bear with me then, because you are lit up to me, but it doesn't seem like you're feeling it. Okay, so who else was taking this? Eleanor and Kat. Do you both understand medals? Yes. Kat, no. Eleanor.
No.
Okay. Bear with me a moment, Susan. Let me just get a taste of Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
This would be granddad to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you understand everything I've said, or is there something that you don't?
Everything sounds right. I didn't meet him because he died before I was born.
Okay, interesting.
But everything that you've said fits what my family's told me.
Okay.
So
good. Okay. It's funny to me because you're under Susan on my screen. So I knew I was drawn off that way. So let me just work with you. Thanks, Susan. Sorry, what a roller coaster we're having this evening. Okay, so you would understand to be granddad. You would understand to be quite formal. He's quite regimented. He doesn't do feelings or fuss. Very traditional man. Yep. Okay. It almost feels a bit like a restriction with him. So I feel that I need to be aware that perhaps there could have been a bit more softness, but I didn't let it out. Would you understand there being some regret there?
Yeah, if it is very much like my dad from what I can gather, and that's exactly my dad as well. So yeah.
Because I just feel that I was so caught up in myself. It's such a weird way of saying it, that I can't share the feelings and I can't talk about things, and I'm very sort of off to one side and removed from the family unit. Now, Eleanor, did you understand medals? Because I feel like they're being pinned to me, and they are still in the family, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I can feel the weight of them here, so I know that they are important. Okay, good. There would also be pictures of him in his uniform. Yes, good, that you have seen. Good. So okay, I was nearly there then. Let me just work with him a little bit more. Now, I need to talk here. You understand him having a health complaint, but his passing being very sudden.
Yes.
Because I feel like, again, this is part of his personality. He doesn't want a fuss made about him. And so he knows there's something going on. And this would be, is it cancer, Eleanor, with him?
No, he just lost his wife through cancer. So he's been dealing with that.
Okay. Because I feel like there's something going on with him that he's ignoring. And that would make sense with his wife then, wouldn't it? Because he's focused on her. Because I can just feel like he's choosing this, and that sounds like a weird thing to say, but he's choosing to ignore it. He doesn't want a fuss made because he doesn't want to be poked and prodded, and he doesn't want to be frail. So he feels like he could have been helped, but he ignores it. That's how it feels to me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know you told me that he moved into spirit before you were born, which is such an interesting spirit link, because I love these kind of ones. But I also want to talk about him geographically. They'd have been far away from you. Would you understand that growing up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because I can also feel distance between like your family home and their family home.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So he's aware of that too. Let me just see what else he wants to show me. Right. I feel that he's taking me back again to this kind of slightly difficult nature within him. I feel that he's showing me that he pushes people away, and this is what he's wanting to acknowledge here, is the space that he created in his family, because it does feel like he's very stereotypical in sort of sitting to one side reading the paper while everyone else is chatting, not getting involved in stuff, just can't. He's a really bad communicator, and he's not in spirit, but he is in life, and he just wants to acknowledge. It feels like there might be some unresolved family things that he left behind. Okay, I won't go into it and share your family's personal details in a public forum, but I just feel that he's making me aware of regret in that regard, that he gets so caught up in himself that he just can't break down that barrier, and he wants to acknowledge that, the regret that his soul feels for that behavior from him, because I do feel like he's telling me he was difficult, and I need to acknowledge that from him. Now, your grandmother, also in spirit with him. I know you've told me that, but I have to acknowledge here, she's a very different kind of kettle of fish, isn't she? She's much softer, much gentler, almost that like a warrior. There's some sort of fussing about everybody, wanting to make sure everybody's okay energy. So I can really feel the difference between the two of them. And it's so interesting to me that he's the one that's coming in with her there, but just making me aware of that. And would you understand a ring of hers being passed on in the family?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. It's complicated, but yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Don't worry. I could just see that she's showing me taking that off and it being passed down. So let me just... And it's so funny because he's just brought her in to be the spokesperson of the feeling stuff. So he's still there and he's still the main bridge, but he's almost letting her speak because this is such a discomfort to him, which shows actually the effort that he's gone through to come and speak this evening, because it's not a comfortable space for him. They want you to know that they are proud of you, Eleanor. There is a real feeling of watching you from spirit, and it feels like all your life when they're watching you, and I'm not saying you've never made a mistake, Eleanor, so don't go getting too excited here, but I want to say that you have always taken the path of trying to do what's right and what's good, and that has got you in some right sticky situations as you've gone through life, but this is important to them. They want you to know that they have seen that. They have seen you trying so hard and putting your own needs and your own desires and your own reactions to one side so that you can be a good person and take the right path, and they're acknowledging that with you. There is also here a feeling of it's your time now and it's time to focus on what you want. So please know that they are encouraging you to take those steps forward with what you desire and what you want.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for working with me.
It's really bizarre, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
The timing and the things you've just said, it couldn't be more. I needed to hear that at this time, if that makes sense. So thank you.
I'm just choking. Hang on. I'm glad that made sense. I'm going to do my next link with a voice even deeper than my normal voice. So we're going to go into a certain, sounds like I'm in a certain phone line, doesn't it? And I don't mean the psychic ones. Right, let me just have a look here. Right. I have got a man stepping forward and he feels like, I'm going to cough one more time because I'm annoying myself. And this gentleman feels to me, I say gentleman, I think this is somebody's partner, husband, partner. He's got that kind of energy. I want to talk about him moving into spirit, way too young. He feels like he is around my age. He feels like a peer to me. He doesn't feel old at all. And I do have to acknowledge here something to do with his head, his mind, and a feeling of wanting to stay longer and very surprised to be in spirit. It doesn't feel like this is expected. This feels like it is shocking to him that he has ended up in the spirit world. So that's quite specific. So I'm going to see if anyone can understand that. Can anyone understand a gentleman with a brain condition? Okay, Cindy and Kat. Okay, not brain, not something to do with head. Nothing to do with head. No. Okay, Kat, yes. Okay, let me get you unmuted, Kat.
Hi.
Hi, love.
Hello.
Sorry about my husky reading you're about to get here. Always.
No, you're amazing. I've
Okay.
got COVID, so let's do this.
Okay, amazing. We'll be husky together. So you understand a gentleman in spirit. I say gentleman. He keeps laughing at the word gentleman because he's got far too much personality to be referred to as a gentleman who moves into spirit around my age, which I guess is middle-aged, although that's kind of depressing to say, and something to do with his head.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And the suddenness of passing, I have to really acknowledge this.
Sudden, I do not understand sudden.
Okay. No, has to be sudden.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Okay. Let me try you, Cindy. You understand everything I'm saying apart from head?
Yes.
Okay. What is it going on with my brain then? Okay. Bear with me one moment. Right, I'm going to try one more time, and then you know that I'm reaching. So this is what I always tell you students not to do, but I say, do as I say, not as I do, always. Right. You don't, I know you would understand stroke to be head, wouldn't you? Don't understand something to do with like a blockage in like a clot or a blockage in a vein.
I mean, we don't know it was his heart. So we don't know if there was something thrown at that point.
Okay. Because it's so funny because I'm seeing what I see for like strokes and head injuries, and I can't change it because that's how I'm receiving it, which is obviously my filter. But then it was moving into like I could see a vein and heart and blood, not heart. I could see blood and pumping and veins. So we'll go with this. So Cindy, would this be your partner, your husband?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you understand him passing around my age?
Yes.
Okay. And you would understand him being quite uncomfortable with being referred to as a gentleman because he's just too fun for that. He's not.
Yeah.
He's too down to earth. He's too easygoing. Gentleman is sort of got a sort of pretension about it, and he hasn't got that. I want to talk about him being quite an active guy. Do you understand this? He feels like he's outdoorsy, active. He's very in his body.
Yes.
Likes to be doing.
Yes.
So be lazy. He's showing me. Can also, when he needs to, take his feet up and put his feet up and have a rest. And I also want to acknowledge here children that you have with him. Kind of. Okay.
His, but not biological.
Okay. Because I still show me that he's wanting to acknowledge the children. They to him, you would understand they feel like they are his.
Yes.
Okay, because that feels important. He's talking about his boys.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let me just work with him a bit here. Right, shocking, very, very shocking, very unexpected passing out of nowhere, completely blindsiding for you, completely blindsiding for him also. I do feel that there is people trying to help him, trying to keep him here.
Yes.
Yes, but unable to. And it does feel like that kind of emergency situation. He's here and he's okay, and then he collapses, people trying to resuscitate him. It feels like completely shocking.
Yes.
Okay. And it's so the way that he shows it to me, and no one's ever shown it to me like this, but he's already beside himself. I feel like he must have had chest compressions because I feel like they are trying to get his heart going, but he's already in spirit stood beside himself, looking, knowing that it's not going to work, feeling completely shocked, seeing the devastation and the horror of it all. So he wants to acknowledge that there was nothing anyone could have done. There was nothing that could have been done differently. It wasn't a case of trying a bit harder or pressing a bit harder, or do you know what I mean? Getting the emergency services there a few more minutes quicker or anything like that, because his soul had already known that it was not going to happen. Okay. Right. Now, he's quite in touch with his feelings underneath that layer of playfulness with him. You would understand this because he's making me feel like you. Now, I know you said biologically the children aren't his, but I also want to talk about you being, are you his second wife, second big partner, something like that? Do you understand this with him?
Maybe partner.
Okay, because he just is wanting me to acknowledge with you how you helped him, how you saved him. There's this feeling of you rescuing him when he'd lost faith.
100%.
Okay, and he's wanting to remind you what you gave him, because it was such a healing experience for him. And he feels so grateful for that. He feels like he really couldn't believe that this ended up being his life with you. And he would have stayed longer if he could have, you know this. But he's so grateful for those moments that he had, that he got. He's quite a humble person, is how I want to phrase it. You know, like when I'm calling him a gentleman, or when I'm talking about, he's sort of, well, I'm just me, I'm just who I am. He doesn't have that kind of pretense of anything. But he's showing me his funeral. There's a lot of people there, you understand. He's a popular guy.
Very.
And this is, he if you'd have said it to him when he was here, he'd have pushed it away and said, no. You know, I'm all right, I do all right. But actually to see from spirit how loved he is, and how many people show up for him, this feels really important to acknowledge. His mum is still here, is that right? Or
yes.
No? Yes, okay. Because he's wanting to acknowledge here as well that you... Is she a little challenging, Cindy?
She's a bitch.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll file that under little challenging. Because he's wanting to, he's showing me being stood beside you while she is behaving in a way that is challenging. And you really trying to keep your cool, hold that space. But actually, I think there's some boundaries you've put in here. Would you understand that? Where you've had to sort of cut her out, push her away, something like that. He's wanting to acknowledge that you made the right choice. That it's almost, I don't think spirits really get cringe, but if spirits did get cringe, he would be there cringing, going, no, why is she doing this? What is she doing? Because she's always been problematical, he's telling me, but she has got worse since he passed.
Ugh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, he's still going about, she's got the monopoly on grief. So she is, you know, whatever you're going through, well, it's her son. It's even worse for her. She feels like she's got that kind of competitive grief syndrome. I've made up a syndrome. So he's acknowledging that as well, and saying you've got to do what you need to do for you. Now he's taking me to being also stood beside you by water. You've just been away, haven't you? You told me that. Yeah. Were you on a lake or by water?
The ocean.
Okay, because there must have been a moment where you were communicating with him, sitting with him. It feels like it's the two of you, like the kids are all off playing and you're having a moment with him. And he's wanting to acknowledge that he was there for that he was beside you. Does that make sense, Cindy?
I'm not sure because I get this chill and I always think it's him, but I'm not sure if it is.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
He was there. It's honestly like he's putting his arm around you.
Yeah.
That's what you're feeling. He's just sitting there. And there's no words. It's just, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm still here. And so he's wanting you to know that that is him. I love it.
Yeah. Wonderful.
He just, it's always that thing with spirit. And I know you work with spirit, so you know this. He's fine. He's good. It's harder for us, but he wishes he had more time here. But he is fine. But he wishes he had more time. And I can sit in both of those. There's also something here about, do you wear a top of his to bed? Or did you wear a shirt of his to bed or something like that?
I slept with something he died in under my pillow for years.
Right. Okay. Because he's just acknowledging that as well, that he's beside you. And he sees those things. This isn't your first time of hearing from him. I know he's been through before, and he's wanting to acknowledge here, again, the pride of being with you, the pride of seeing the work that you're doing, the pride of the help that you're giving to other people who are where you were. And I feel like that's one of your big passions, is not just the mediumship, but some sort of support for people whose lives are just turned upside down by a hurricane of death. And he's so proud of you taking all of that pain that you went through and the rebuild that you've had to do, and where you've had to pick up the pieces of your life and change everything. It feels like moving it all and shuffling it around to make it bearable. And he's wanting to acknowledge how proud he is that you are using that power to help other people. He's supporting you all the way. And he still loves you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You almost made me cry. I did everything I could not to cry.
Well done. Yeah, you don't. That's always the thing with public spaces as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really glad he was able to come in. That was pretty awesome.
One thing that was really amazing is the funeral. They still have never packed the funeral house as much as, and for him to bring that up was first time and pretty amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was amazing.
He's because he is a little, he's humble. He would never have expected that many people to rock up for him. I can feel that, but I can also feel how glad he is that they did come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely man. Thank you for working with me. Good. Right. I've got mum here, and mum, I do feel, is an older lady when she moves into the spirit world, but I need to acknowledge you taking care of mum or looking after mum in some format for quite some time before she passes. So this feels like being a carer, almost being a carer, that kind of environment where you would be really, really hands-on with her and looking after her and being part of her day-to-day life. So I do feel like there's regularity of contact here. There is taking care of her, doing chores for her, getting her food organized. Really, really feels like it's a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I do know that she's quite a lot of work. Love her, but I know that you wouldn't have it any other way. So I want to acknowledge this with her. She does feel like she is a grandmother. So she is mum and grandma. She's very proud of that when she moves into the spirit world. And she's a tiny little slip of a lady. There's not a lot of meat on her bones. She feels very petite to me. And there would be a memory that she just keeps showing me here of you getting her, she's in hospital towards the end of her life, you'd bring her in her clean nightie. And she really likes being in her nightie and not in the hospital clothes. And it's a really lovely feeling that she's making me feel. So who am I with? Who recognises mum here? Okay. Would anyone understand this if this is grandma and I've just got the relationship wrong? Little skinny lady. I feel like she's lost a lot of weight. I know that family are taking care of her. Lynn. Hi, love.
Hello.
Hi.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. So who is this to you, please?
Mum.
Oh, it is mum. Okay. And you understand her. I feel like the family are rallying around her, looking after her. You in particular.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's losing a lot of weight. She's becoming much frailer towards the end of her life. You understand? Yeah. Okay. Good. And she must have lived near you, or because I feel that there's this real regularity of contact. You're going in and checking on her all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just work with her a little bit. I want to acknowledge here, Lynn, it does feel like it's you. It's so lovely. There's a really close bond with you and your mum. Do you understand this?
Very much.
Yeah, she's really, it feels like a friendship.
Yeah.
So even though you're going there and looking after her, you're popping on the kettle and you're telling her all your news and you're having this wonderful chat together about everything that's going on with the kids and and it just feels like you bring her colour into her world. That's how I want to phrase it. You pop in there and see her and you make the lights come on for her. And so I want to just acknowledge here that gratitude that she has. And I know that you will go, Hannah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I loved her, but I'm going to say that she wants to say thank you to you anyway, because I know it was a lot.
It's lovely. Thank you.
Okay, let me just work with her a little bit more here. So you would understand her moving into hospital towards the end of her life?
Yeah.
And I feel that you must have brought stuff from home for her, so she's comfy.
I had to do that. Certain things, like, because being mum daughter, you got a close relationship, so I would know where they were more than like my dad.
It just feels really lovely though, because she liked to look nice, your mum, didn't she? She didn't, getting older, she didn't want to be some old lady in a, dribbling in a home without looking nice and put together. So there's just this, she keeps bringing me to this feeling of relief when you bring her stuff in, so she feels more like her, like presentable. It just feels really.
I remember when she was in hospital and I brought in a little bathroom bag or something, and I checked everything through, and it had an anti-wrinkle cream, and she said, well, I'm not going to fucking use that, am I? Her sense of humour. She said, I don't need that, do I?
Well,
it was so funny.
The other stuff that you've brought her, she's very grateful for, because I can feel it. I feel like I've got, when you get fresh bed sheets, she's got that kind of feeling, but I know it's things that you brought in for her. I love it. Okay, let me just. Now, she is showing me she is a great grandma. Is that correct, Lynn? So are you a grandma? Yeah. Okay, good. She's wanting to acknowledge that. Now, she did get to meet her great grandchild. Is that right?
No.
Okay, let me just follow that. Well, she did.
Did she?
Meet. Let me just.
My daughters, one of my daughters had a Lydia, who's 3 now, and she never got to meet her.
Oh, okay. She's acknowledging that she has then, because I can see she's like, I did meet her. I have been around her. She's, you know
Yeah,
what your mum's
that's
like.
it. Yeah.
She's very determined lady. She's not going to let me not say it. So she's wanting to tell you that she's been a part of Lydia's life. So that's rather special, isn't it? Let me just.
That's lovely. Mm.
Now, here's the funny thing. Have you taken Lydia splashing in puddles recently on a walk?
Not
splashing?
recently, but she loves doing it.
Okay,
I
because
did. Yeah.
she's just showing me it's being stood beside the two of you while Lydia is splashing in a puddle with her little wellies on, and I can see it really clearly.
Yeah,
So
I remember that. Yeah.
good. So she's there for that. She's not missing any of it. Okay. She's also showing me her wedding picture. Have you got her wedding picture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the cabinet.
Yeah, she's just showing me that that's there and you've got it and it's out, and doesn't she look lovely? And she loves that. She loves being remembered that way. She's there because you talk to her all the time, don't you? In your home.
Yeah.
She's right there beside you when you're chatting to her.
She clicks the kettle when the kettle's boiled. She clicks it. I know it's her.
Amazing.
And I've got a little heart that I took from her home hanging on the second bedroom of my home. And what she dings it. She dings it sometimes to let me know she's there.
How amazing.
And it happened one night at 3 a.m. and it was going, because the cat does it to let him out. And she was bashing it, and I woke up and it stopped. So it must have been her. She's trying to, whatever was going on, I was thinking about, she's trying to reassure me.
Yeah, letting you know that she's there.
Yeah.
She's absolutely in your life. Right, now, you know your mum. She's very loving, very funny, but also is not afraid to give you a sharp shove up the bum when you need it. When you need a push.
Definitely.
And that is why she's coming in today. She's coming in to give you a little push, to push you forward, to get you to keep going, to get you to be brave, to get you to be strong. She really wants you to keep pushing forward, Lynn. Does that make sense why she's showing you that?
Yeah, I will. I will.
Good.
Definitely.
And she is just still there, still laughing and with you all the time, and she loves you so very much.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. I wondered whether she knows any more news that's coming along.
Oh, let me try and have you got something particular you're wondering about?
Yeah, she must know.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, she's keeping stum. So there obviously is something going on there. Yeah, okay. Oh, bless her. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks, Hannah. That was really nice.
Good.
Thank you.
Right. Let me just see who is next. Right. I have got another gentleman stepping forward here, and I know it's stereotypical, so I'm fighting it, but I've got to go with it while I'm building my power. I need to talk about him being an avid gardener in retirement. It feels like this is something he is very knowledgeable about. He would have talked about a lot, and he keeps showing me a little robin on a fork that he wants to acknowledge is him in the garden talking to you. So I feel that you would really associate gardening with him, and you would really associate birds and taking care of the birds, feeding the birds with him. This feels like this is something that he spends a lot of time doing. Now, I know that he is elderly when he moves into the spirit world, and I have to acknowledge that with him here. There's a feeling of getting the shakes. So I feel that he's quite unsteady or shaking in somewhere, and I can feel that with him. And I know that this is frustrating for him because he wants to be doing. and his mind feels quite active to me, but his body is definitely letting him down. And I do feel that he lives alone. So if he's married, she's already in spirit before he is. So I know that he's on his own. He's talking. There's this shaky, unsteady kind of doddery energy coming in with him, which is frustrating. I know that he's obsessional about gardening. He knows a lot about plants and how they work. Let me get some more from him, because I know that isn't particularly specific for elderly people. Okie dokes. Now, again, I want to acknowledge you. There's regularity of contact with you here. So I feel that you would have taken him food or looked after him in some way. It doesn't feel quite as hands-on as Lynn was with her mum, but it does feel like there'll be the popping in and the bringing meals, making sure he's got food to eat, popping in to see to make sure that he's okay, and that kind of caring nature there. And I know that we are a room of girls, just checking. I think we all are. But I feel like you would bring your husband or your partner would do jobs in the garden for him, so he's still in his home, but they would cut the grass for him or something like that, because he's making me feel like you're in the house putting on the kettle for him and checking in with him, and your partner is mowing the lawn, cutting the hedge, that kind of thing, keeping it how he would like it and trying to help him out. I also want to acknowledge here that he's in a residential area where he's got neighbors and people that know him, that keep an eye on him. He doesn't feel like he's completely isolated and alone. And I also want to talk about the connection with the name Paul. So does anyone understand? Who am I with? Sue, I love a wiggly woggly. What do you not understand, my love?
My husband's father was a gardener.
Okay.
Very passionate about gardening, very knowledgeable about it. My husband's name is Paul, but I never met what would be my father-in-law.
Okay, interesting. Let me just feel into this. Does he pass as an older guy, Sue? Feels elderly to me.
I think so, yes.
Okay, let me just see what else. And lived alone for the last part of his life?
No.
No.
Can't take.
Yeah, I don't think I'm with you, but thank you. Doesn't feel like I am. Let me just go. Would anyone understand it all if I have just got one thing wrong that is holding you back? Okay, let me just go through and see where I've got it wrong then. Older gentleman. I feel like he's quite tall. Gets a bit wobbly in his older age. Does live to be elderly. You know, it's so funny. I'm trying to work out what I can change. I know he likes gardening. I know that you would have helped him. I know you've been in his house. So that's why I can't take it with you, Sue, because I can see the divide here. There's people bringing him food. There's also people taking care of his garden. And he definitely is living alone. He was married, but his wife has moved into spirit before him. Lynn, again, bear with me, Lynn, because it would be unusual for it to be all with you. Let me just unmute you actually quickly. Who would that be to you, Lynn?
My dad.
It would be your dad.
Pool, garden. I did go to the home. Obviously, my mum went before him.
Okay.
I took food in. I cut the grass, but the pool, I can't associate Paul.
Oh, okay. I might have just made a name up because that happens on occasion. Let me just. That's funny because it came in right after your mum, didn't it? Do you think he's just trying to get a little headway in? Let me just get something else for him.
Okay.
Did he have a barometer, Lynn? There's a question.
In the kitchen. In the kitchen.
I just asked him for something so that we would know he was definitely with you. Let me just. Okay. And quite shaky and unsteady towards the end of his life.
I didn't know that, but he would hide it from me if he
Okay.
was, because he had trouble getting out of the bath.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like he is struggling
And he's so stubborn, he wouldn't tell me because he didn't want me to worry.
Okay. Just trying to feel into it. Okay, one last thing, because I've said to him, if you're with Lynn, did he have cloth handkerchiefs?
Yes.
Okay, there we go then.
Yeah.
Here we go.
definitely.
I was like, you're gonna have to give me something. Okay. Interesting. Let me just see. Right. I know you said he didn't want you to know that about the bath, but I do have to acknowledge here as well, he's quite a proud man. He didn't want to be he didn't like being elderly. He didn't like being on his own. He didn't like people having to look after him. So I just want to acknowledge that there is this. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us, Dad? And him like, I would never have told you what was going on with me because I just wanted to.
He would tell my daughter, but he wouldn't tell me, and then she'd tell me, and I'll say, why didn't you tell me? Yeah, this is what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, because he said, don't tell your mum.
Okay. And of course she did. Okay. Let me just keep moving. Where have you gone? There you are. Right. You holding his hand as he moves into spirit, Lynn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
by his bedside.
Yeah, because he's acknowledging that he could feel that. He could feel your hand. He could feel you there. I can feel him. It feels very peaceful, his passing, like he's just drifting in and out and then he falls asleep. And I can feel as I'm drifting in and out and being here and then being over there, I can feel your hand and you telling him it's okay and just slipping away. So he's wanting you to know that he could feel that.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Because they say the hearing's the last thing to go, and I would talk to him, but he was just like as if he was sleeping.
Oh, bless him.
But as you talk and you wonder if he can hear you, and you think, am I sitting here talking to myself?
Yeah. No, he could hear it and he could feel it. He could feel your hand holding his. So that's really lovely. Right, now I'm done with you, Lynn. I love you very much, Lynn, but I'm done. I'm not working with you anymore. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. Do you know what? It's better than on some nights where you end up just working with one half of an audience and you're just on the right hand side and someone puts their hand up for the next spirit and you go, no, please, I want someone on for the left. So you don't get that on Zoom, at least, do you? Right. Let's see. Okay. I have got a lady stepping forward here, but she feels young to me. So this feels like sister friend kind of energy. She's got a very upbeat, very young vibe. I think she is around her 30s. And she is, let me just mute you, no offense. And I know that she moves into spirit, feels abruptly, suddenly and unexpectedly. I do think this might be a car accident or something like that, where she is here and then gone. And it feels very shocking, very upsetting, very unexpected. So does anyone recognize this lovely young lady I've got here? Okay, Kat. Hi, Kat.
Hey again.
Hi. Would you understand a friend? It feels like friend energy to me.
Yes.
Passes unexpectedly in a car accident.
I cannot take car accident. I can take passes unexpectedly and suddenly.
Okay.
From an accident.
Okay,
not car.
Okay. Would you understand with this accident there being some sort of impact?
Absolutely.
Okay, because that's what I'm feeling, and I thought it was a car accident. Okay. Let me just work with her a little bit more. very vibrant personality.
Yes.
Very bright, very fun, very filled with light, kind of show busy. She's got a really big persona.
I cannot take big persona.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me just, that's how she's coming in. I can't change it. She feels like she's got the va-va-voom going on. Okay, let me just get something from her and we'll see if I'm with you.
Sure.
Okay. Very attractive.
Yes.
Likes to look nice.
Yes.
Dresses. Right, for some reason I'm seeing like a sexy cocktail dress. So I feel like she's, okay. That's interesting. Now, why are you coming in with such va-va-voom if you don't own it, lady? Okay. I'm right. I'm going to go back to the word persona because that's where she's taking me. Do you understand two sides to her?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you understand one that would have been very sort of public persona?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
definitely. Okay. Now we're in there. Yeah.
Okay. And then another side that is perhaps not so, and dare I even say it, the polar opposite of the one she puts on.
Polar opposite.
It's like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce.
Oh my God. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I was like, this is how I feel it. Let me just feel into her. Okay. Now I want to talk about partying. Was she a bit of a partier?
Yes.
Yeah. Did she dabble in substances that are a little naughty?
I don't know, actually.
Okay. That's funny because I just feel like she's having a good time. That's how she makes me feel. Like she's not a problem user of anything, but I just feel like she wants to go out, she wants to have a good time, she wants to dance, she wants to move past her own insecurities. That's how she's making me feel with it here. Okay. Now here's an interesting thing. We've got she's a real two polar opposites of energy. So she shows me everything like a yin to her yang. So there's the party persona, the going out, the having the drinks, and then there's also like softness and poetry or writing.
Poetry or writing. I can't immediately take that.
Okay.
Sure. Writing. Can you clarify?
Okay, I'm trying.
Let me dig in? Yeah.
Have a look. I feel like she's right. It's like she's an artist, but she's an artist with written words, and that's how I'm feeling it.
I can't take that.
Okay. Well, she's not changing it. Bear with me. See my interpretation. Okay.
Sure.
Big persona, big personality. It's like a notebook or something.
Interesting. We used to write letters back and forth.
Okay, because
her penmanship was like absolutely incredible, and I used to comment on it.
Okay, because I could just see like curly whirly writing on a page.
Yeah, that's how we communicated back and forth.
Okay, right, that makes sense. Okay, and in that there feels like a more exposed vulnerableness,
absolutely,
that comes through, which is why I think I thought it was poetry, because it is the bearing of the soul that you wouldn't necessarily do. Okay. Was this a childhood friend of yours, Kat?
Yes,
as well, because she showed me like friendship bracelets.
Oh my God, stop it, Hannah.
Yeah?
This person in particular made me these, and I still have them, and I worshipped them.
Good. Excellent. Good.
Get it, Hannah.
Excellent. Good. Yeah. I was like, hang on, what are you putting on my wrist?
Sorry.
Okay. Good.
Wow.
Excellent.
That was awesome. Nice.
Fun.
Wow. Holy crap.
You know, she is an amazing spirit, because obviously her life is cut incredibly short and in such a shocking and horrendous way. But she just feels like she lived it. She feels like she shone brightly and did everything that she wanted to do, and she lived her life. She's traveled or away somewhere. Do you understand this? She saw lots of places and spaces.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she just feels like she did it. She would have liked more, but she really did life while she was here. And that is her message to you.
Oh, cool.
Is do it. Live it. Follow your dreams. She is like such a cheerleader to you. She's like wanting you to follow your passions, follow the things that light you up, follow your excitement, and really live it, like absorb every moment of your experience here, because that is what she wants for you so desperately. Now, I just have to quickly move to beside her, where she also has a younger man in spirit with her.
Okay.
That she is wanting you to know. Now, he is a younger man, but he's 20, 30, something like that. And she just keeps saying, I've got him, Kat.
Okay.
We're all together. Let me just follow this a little bit and try and build some power with him. Right. I don't wish to give you any form of public information that is shared, but I know that he partakes in a particular substance. He feels like he's got a really right. There feels like a really close bond to you. It feels like you are the common link between them, not them. It's with you.
Okay.
It feels really, really close. There feels like a brother friend. Have you got a brother in spirit, Kat? Remind me.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Would he have been living a good life?
Not that one. No.
Not that one. This
if you're doing that, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Right. I just feel like I've got this guy here and he's communicating through her, but I have to acknowledge her because she keeps pulling his wrist up and she's like, I've got him. And she really wants me to acknowledge him. And he's gone to spirit too soon. And I want to acknowledge something with him about mental health issues or anxiety or something like that.
Okay.
And that's why he's there, because he's not really tonight anyway communicating with me much, but she keeps pulling up his arm to say that she's got him. So this feels like it's important that you know that they're together. And there's something, he feels like a teenager. He's got a teenager vibe, but I'm sure he's older. Can't quite get him. No, she's definitely the one that's communicating. That's what's causing the problem. I'm trying to build with him, but it's her. Right.
Huh. Wonder who's trying to come through.
Yeah. I can really see, and he's got like he's almost like emo hair. I keep seeing like emo hair.
Like emo, like dark
yeah, like
emo,
dark,
like this.
Yeah, like the fringy, brushed over kind of. That's why I keep saying, are you a teenager or are you a young adult? Because it's like both. And she keeps saying she's got him, but it is like dealing with someone who doesn't want to come in fully. So it's quite interesting. Right.
Okay.
Let me move.
Maybe it'll hit later.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's definitely something important about him because she's still holding him. So we'll work it out, Kat. Maybe when you spend an hour together in a private room, just going, who are you with him? But I can just acknowledging she's got him.
Show yourself.
And she's just really funny. She's standing by what she said. Choose your life, choose happiness. And that is what she wants for you. Thank you very much. That was funny. It went woo as in the energy of that, as it does. Right, let me just try one more for you all. Right. I've got a gentleman stepping forward here. He does feel like dad to me. And I do feel that he works in some sort of office accounting kind of role. He's very good with numbers, very organized. He's smart. He wears a suit to work. I know that he is older when he moves into the spirit world. But he's telling me the bits weren't quite falling off him yet. So OAP, but not elderly. I know that he is very quiet, very calm, very steady. Is not rude with it, would have always talked if you spoke to him, but is not somebody that's going to instigate a conversation. So quite happy with just peace. And I feel that I can see him here living with his wife, and I can hear the clock ticking in the living room because it's so quiet. You can hear the clock tick and you can hear the birds sing, but he's perfectly comfortable in that. This just feels like a lovely, warm, comfy feeling here. I know that he has got a pain in his knee, so I know he's got a knee problem, and that has been a long-term thing with him, that he's got a problem in his knee. And again, very traditional gentleman, likes his dinner served to him, will drink copious amounts of cups of tea, will always take one if there's one on offer. Intelligent man, very, very good with general knowledge, would do crosswords, that kind of thing. He's got a lot of information going up in his head. And I see him here. He's got a collection of encyclopedias or something like that, Encyclopedia Britannica or something like that he's got lots of information in that he because he knows a lot. He actually read the encyclopedias, like what a dude, and retained the information, which is more than I can do. So who am I with? Who recognizes this lovely man, please? I'm not going to let any of you leave the Zoom room. I will hunt you down. Right. Older gentleman. Would anyone understand if it's, I said dad, didn't I? Would anyone understand if it's granddad? Very clever man, works in an office sort of, he's not doing menial work, let's put it that way. He uses his mind for his living. He keeps showing me a black and white picture of him in his suit, so I know this picture still exists in the family. Very, very clever, could answer questions about most things. He's got a lovely wife who dotes on him and looks after him very, very well. They've been together a long, long time. She feels like she is the one that takes care of him, makes sure he's got food, dinner on the table, makes sure he's got a cup of tea, and he is waited on. It's a good life for him. Smartly dressed gentleman wearing a shirt. He's got he wears a jumper with no sleeves. I can see him in here. Very quiet, very gentle. I want to talk about distance. They lived a fair distance away from you, it feels, but you would have gone to visit them. And she's also shown me a floral tea set that I know has been passed on that belonged to them. Come on, someone. Think. It must be who you're not expecting then. So, yeah, really clever man, really, really good at quizzes, always has the answer for everything, would have watched countdown or something like that on the TV where he could do all the conundrums. He's got a really, really clever, analytical mind, really, really intelligent man. Yeah. They've both got, I could see like his and hers chairs in the living room where they're sitting, and yeah, they're watching the TV. Tony possibly. Eleanor, were you pointing at Eleanor, Tony?
No.
No, you were putting your hands up.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you not understand, my lovely?
Can I just say, I've got my daughter here and she's listening and she's saying that's her granddad, which is my ex-husband's dad.
Oh, amazing.
That is granddad. So she's literally off here. That's why she was going, yes, mom, yes, mom.
Okay,
so
excellent.
I don't know.
Okay, so Tony's daughter, vicariously, aren't spirit clever? Yeah. I love it. Is there anything you don't understand, lovely?
He wasn't very quiet.
He wasn't?
No.
Okay, right, he's coming in all, but you understand everything else, really clever.
Yeah.
Okay, but you understand, right, there would have been moments, because it feels like lovely peacefulness when you walk in, there's just a silence, and you can hear the clock ticking.
They did have a really big, what the big clocks called that used to tick really loud.
Yeah, because okay, good, because he took me straight back to that space, and he was like, no, tell him about the clock ticking, because he's like pondering around doing a puzzle or something with his glasses on his nose, and you're just sitting there, and so good, excellent. Aren't they clever? Isn't that amazing? Right. Yeah, it definitely feels like I'm with you. You weren't expecting this, were you, when you just came in and sat to one side? I love it. Okay. So they're both in spirit, both your grandparents on that side. No, she's still here. Yes. Okay, let me just follow this then. But you have got a grandmother in spirit. No. Okay.
No.
He stood with a lady. Let me just work out who she is for you then, because he's showing me that he's not on his own. He's got a lady with him. Okay. Do you understand a Catherine? Or a Kate? Catherine? I know, it's so hard, isn't it? It's like being on Mastermind.
No,
okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Don't worry. It's just what I'm seeing there. Let me get something else from him, because I do feel like I'm with you. We're cooking on gas, but there's just something that's brought. I wish I stopped bringing in extras, because that's when I'm losing my power. Let me find something else for you. Let me build up with him again. Okie dokes. Right. So you would understand, I need to talk here about, there feels like a really lovely bond between the two of you. You get on with him very well.
Yeah, I did get on with him. Yeah. Okay,
it just feels like because I think you bring him out of himself a little bit. That's how he's making me feel. Now, I'm saying to him, you're going to have to give me something good now. Right, I'm in their living room. He keeps taking me to it. The clock is ticking. The TV's on. He's doing a puzzle. Time is going by. He's very clever. He's got his encyclopedias. I can see him here. The clock again, he likes, they've got a real routine, the two of them, about what time they like things and everything like that. I feel like it's all run to his ship-shape standard of everything being almost to the second, and he's quite proud of that. Okay. Right, now here's the thing. I know I was in the garden earlier with somebody else's person, wasn't I? But I want to be back in the garden with him. Do you understand his garden being very regimented, neat? Like it's not it sounds like a weird thing to say, and please don't take my judgment out of this, but it's not a garden of love. It's a garden where everything is just tidy, straight edges. It is a garden, but it's so parallel lines, perpendicular. I don't know what the word is I want to use. I feel like it's not, things aren't allowed to grow out of hand. Everything has its place, and he feels like he's got a nature like that with things, of how he likes them. Okay. Do you know, it's funny because I know I was talking about his knee hurting and stuff like that, but he does feel to me like he's quite sedentary towards the end of his life. So he just sits around and does his puzzles and watches the TV. Do you understand this? He doesn't really feel like he's getting out much.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. He's wanting to acknowledge here that he is well looked after. And I feel like within that acknowledgement, like his wife takes really good care of him. I don't think he would have been particularly acknowledging of that in life. So I feel like it's expected in life, but in spirit, he can see that he actually was very well looked after and taken care of by her. Yes? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Married for years and years and years, these two. Yeah,
Yes.
Feels like they've been together since time started. That's how it feels like they're showing me here. But he's not playful, is he? He's quite a serious man. And I don't think he was ever playful. She must have known what she was signing up for, because he's even when they show me right at the beginning when they met, he's not about fun and frivolity then.
No.
So she, it just feels like that, that you'll do. Sorry about your grandparents' love life here, but it just feels like, yeah, okay, yeah, that let's get that organized. He's not a romantic man, is he? So
No.
right. If I gave you a big mushy message from him now, you'd be like, Hannah, I'm not sure. That doesn't sound like him. So it's almost like he just comes in to say, yep, I'm around. Yep. I would have liked to have ended tonight on a big, heartfelt, Hallmark card style message where everyone burst into tears and I felt like an amazing medium. But he is just, yep, I could, so I did. Yeah. So he is around, and I know, of course, that the spirit world always bring love, and there is it there, but I have to represent him truly, otherwise you wouldn't believe it's him. So there is love from him. He is watching, he is around. He's still with that lady. And oh my gosh. I hope I'm not breaking down family secrets here. And you're going to find out he had a lovely lady on the side called Catherine, who's been reunited with in the spirit world, where all his passion is unleashed. But he's definitely with her, so I can't change it. I don't know what he's doing there.
Is he an older lady?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly thought it was his wife. It's so funny. I wonder if it's his mum. Men and their mums and their wives, no comment. So I just know that he is there and he's wanting to let you know. And it's such a funny message to end on, but that is the truth of it. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
No worries. What fun, isn't it? And see, guys, that's such the perfect example of when everyone looks at you and you can hear crickets and you think, oh my God, what have I done? And then, it's just someone off screen. So you never know how it's going to work. So thank you all very much. I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's been lovely to work with you all, and I will see you all again soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.